So actually, let's look at our splash screen. So we're gonna design this right now, and we're gonna have three images which will be scrolling in the splash screen. So let's look at this. We have the files we're gonna work in. We have a folder here, splash screen slash components, and then we have the body file. We have the splash content, and then we have the splash screen. So we're gonna start with this. Let's get started. So inside the splash screen, we actually going to first import. My keyboard is messing me up today. So packages, packages. Okay, so okay, and okay. Then next, we do an import of. Let's do Flutter app. Flutter app. Then we're gonna go to screens, and then in the screen I'm gonna do components screen. No, we need to screen, we need to do pages first, then we go to components, and we have to import things inside the component folder. No, screens, we need to go to splash screen. So splash screen is here, and then we need to pick the component dot body, this one. So component, then we go body, yes, body dot that. Okay, and then next we need to import. Let's import the size config here. So import, let's use package, then I go Flutter app. That's the name of our app. Flutter app, then I go size what config. So these are the import we'll be needing. So first I'm gonna create a stateless widget here, and for this stateless widget I'm gonna call it the splash screen. Splash screen, splash screen. Okay, good. And for this, in the builder, I'm going to return a scaffold. Scaffold here. And with the scaffold, I first need to initialize or have to call the starting screen. But we need to make sure we are checking the size of the screen. So we use the size config, which I have already set in the other file, which we did in the previous video, and dot init, and in it then we have contests. Okay, context like this. Okay, so inside the scaffold, the main thing we need to look here is the body. So if the media query is attaching to what is displaying with the screen, then we need to call the body, which is a file. Okay, so this is here to be created, which will be a class name inside the body file. Okay, so next is to look at starting with the splash content itself. So first here we import, let me be lazy here, my keyboard is not helping me today. So and I'm gonna import the size config, which is in another folder, so I need to dive deep into it and then get that file. So I have 1, 2, 3. I use this. Good. Next is to create stateless. Oh no, stateless. And this will be called a splash content. Splash content. Okay, so for the splash content, we'll be having a simple constructor up here, and first is the key. We're gonna have a test image. Okay, so let me define that up here. So first I'll say final, and the first one will be string, and this string will be test for us, and the next one will be an image here. Okay, so we need to add this to our constructor, so I need to give a space here, a comma here rather, and then I call this first this image, and the next one is tests. Okay, good. So inside our return, we'll return a column here, and we'll first have a child for this column, and this child will actually have a spacer in here. And after this spacer we're gonna have an image that we're gonna call. Let's look at this again. Yeah, so this is what we are actually working on now. Good. So after the spacer we're gonna have an image, and image dot assets, and for our asset we'll first have the image first, and then we'll have the height of the image. So we are looking at this side. Image, so let's say get property, let's get property height, and this height we're gonna set it to 300, and we'll say width, so let's say width, and this width we'll do get property width here, and with the width we're gonna do 255. Okay, next is to add a test. So with this we're gonna add in test inscriptions, so we can get it here, this test beneath the images. Okay, so let's go test, and the first one will be test. Pardon me for my keyboard. Test, and after the test let's look at test align. So test align, and this test align we're gonna do test align, and this test align will be the center since we want everything to be in the center. So we do test align the center, and we need to add some style to this. So style, let's add a style, and then it will be a test style. Okay, so inside the test style we need to have the font size. Okay, font size, and font size set to 20. Then let's have a font width, and font width should be font width will be dot bold. Okay, good. Now the spacer, we need to add a flex to the spacer. So after this, no, after the test here, let's add the spacer again, and then we add a flex in there. So spacer, and we add a flex of 1. Okay. Okay, so we are done with this one. So what we do is to step into the screen, step into the body rather, and for the body we're gonna need material, the that, and all that. So what I'll do here is to let me see, we don't need this at the top here. No, we don't need this too. Okay, good. Now the screen body. Now we go to the body. Okay. So I want to be a bit lazy, and with the body we're gonna have all this one up here. So we have our material that, and then we'll be having the SVGs and all that. So here, what we'll be doing here is to add some files we are here to code in there. So it's gonna give us unused files, but we will need it later on. So this is actually in the pages, and then it is sign. We have sign in, which we are yet to work on that file. Sign in, and then we're gonna have another one that is sign up. Sign up, we are yet to work on this file as well. So sign up. So we have sign up, this one. Okay. So we have sign in and sign up 1 here. Then we're gonna add a constant. Constant that is our constant file. So I add a constant here, and so we do slash constant. Good. Now we need to add our SVG because we'll be using an SVG file in this one. So what we'll do is to add a package, and this package will be Flutter SVG. Flutter underscore SVG. Then we go slash SVG, this one, because this one is an SVG file. Okay, good. So next is to add our first import For best practice, we want to import this splash content, which we'll work on it later. So this one, and let's look at class. So we already have that file in there. We already have this. We have worked on most of it. Maybe we might do something else in there, or we'll leave it as it is. So we are going to create state. Let me do stateless here, and I'll call this body, which we have already called that class in another file. So body, and for the body, I need to have one variable in here, and that variable will be an int, and then we'll assign this to current. We have a current, let's call it the current page, yeah, because of the splash, and we assign it to 0. Okay, good. So next, what we have to do is to, let me see. Hmm. What we'll do here is, instead to create a stateless, let's create a stateful, because this is gonna change. So let's use stateful. This state is gonna change, so let's use stateful widget here instead of stateless. So body. Okay, perfect. And I add the variable. Why is this variable yielding? Oh no, adding it at the wrong place. So let me add it here. Inside this side. Okay, good. Now what we have to do is to have a list, and this is where we're gonna feed our data for our splash screen. So first I'm gonna create a list here, and for the lists we're using a map to get the data in a map format. So our map will be having two strings, one string here and another string there. Okay, and this map will have a name of splash data. Splash data, then we say equal to a list of data in here. So first we'll be setting a simple data in here. The first one will be, let me arrange this well. The first one will be our test data. So test first, and the test, this is like a key, and then the value, we'll go find and land. Land your nest job. Okay, and then we have the next one will be the image. So image key, then the value. So this will be assets, Then we'll use one image inside our asset, which is image1 dot jpg. Okay, so we're gonna duplicate this data and simply change the data we have. So what we are doing here is actually working on this test. We have this image there and we work on this test. So we have 1, 2, 3. So we need to simply duplicate this and then add different information. So I copy this here, I give a comma here, and then I add. Next one will be build. Build your network and the go. Okay, and we'll use image 2 here. Next, comma, and then I add this. The last one was we'll say stay ahead with with curated content for your career. Okay, so I get that one. Next, the image will be 3 here. Okay, so now let's step into the builder and then return the scaffold here. No, instead of scaffold, we use save area. Save area so that this does not overlap our screen. When the screen is too big, we should check that. So we use the save area. Then I have a child of a container in here. Okay, and for this container, we need to decorate this. So show box decoration for our container, and this decoration will only add a color. Oh no, pardon me. Color, and color will have we're gonna create this colors dot height. Okay, this for our box decoration. Okay, next is to check another column, but here I will be looking at width, and we're gonna use a double dot infinity width. Okay, now we'll have a child, and this child will be a column. In this column, we need to do a cross-axis alignment, and this cross-axis alignment will be stat. Yeah, it will be dot stat because we want to look at this side from the starting. Everything should arrange from the starting and inside the middle. Okay, so after this, let's add the children, and these children will have all our widgets, but we're gonna add a size box to give some space at the top for us, and we'll use a height for this height of 20, and I'm gonna add a padding. So for the pattern, let's have a const pattern. Let's have a const of what? Let me see. Let's use symmetric. So edge. Let's do edge insect. Edge insect of insect dot symmetric. Okay. So and this symmetric we're gonna use horizontal, and it's gonna be 10 here. Okay. So we have a pattern, then we'll have another child, and this child will actually be the SVG. The SVG we want to use, so SVG picture dot asset, and then we'll call the asset URL here. So this will be assets slash. We are using an SVG in the asset folder, and this is logo dot SVG inside our asset folder. Okay, next will be the width. So we have our asset here. We need to actually add a width of for this asset, and let's say 30 here, and let's add a height, and let's say 30. Yes, that is for the SVG. Next, we want to add an expanded widget after the pattern, and we'll add the other widgets for it. So let me use expanded. Yes, and first let's check the expanded flex. Add a flex of 3 here, and for the child, let me add a page view for this child. Page view. So page view, and the page view will have an on-page change. On-page change, and with the on-page change, having a value. So value, and we need to do a set state here because it will be changing. So a set state will do set state. So set state, and in the set state we need to do the current variable we have up there. So current page is equal to the value. First we set it to 0, now we have set it to actual value. Okay, so that is the set state for our expandable. Next, we're gonna add the item count for the number of images and the other what properties. So let's add item count. So this item count will be the splash data, which we have up there. No one, the splash data, and this splash data we need to check the length of the splash data. Okay. After that, we need to look at adding builder here. So we call the item item builder. And with this item builder, we need to call context. So context and then the index. So first we'll have a context, and we'll have our context, and then we need to have the index. So next will be our splash content. Mm, Splash content. And inside our splash content, what we'll have here is the image. Mm, Image. And this image will be a splash data. Then we'll have the index, and this will be appended to image. Okay, but this needs to be in a quote. Okay, next will be our tests. So test here, splash data index, then here will be a test. Okay. So let me see. This is still yelling at us. Let me look at the errors. So item count splash.length item builder context in the splash image splash data in this test. Okay, I think everything is cool here. After the pattern, and let me see. Expanded. Oh, okay. Child page view. Oh, page view. Need to use the builder rather. Yes. Okay. Let's leave this empty. Yeah. So builder. Perfect. Okay. So error is saved. Okay. So what we need to do is to add another expanded. So here we look at first image and then the first test. So we need to duplicate this. Yeah, duplicate this, expanded, and then we have our second image here. And this one will be flex 2. We have the flex 3, then this one will be flex 2. So everything in here, let me see. We need to change something here. For flex 2, let's add let's add some pattern to this. Okay, but I'm gonna add flex 2, flex 2, flex 2. Let me add a pattern to this flex 2. So pattern, and this pattern I'll use edge insect dot symmetric. Let me use this. And for the symmetric, we want to add um, horizontal. Yes, and let me use the get proportional screen. This one will use the width here and set it to 20. I put the flex here, and we're gonna design this differently. Yeah, so for the pattern side, what we have to do is to actually add some columns in here. So after the pattern, we're gonna add this column here. Okay, so this is 20. Okay, so I add child here, and this child will be a column. Let me see this edge symmetric. After the edge symmetric, we need to, the child needs to be outside of this. Okay, so here will be a comma, and then the child will be here. So this is yelling at us. Let me check what is going on here. Edge, edge inside. Horizontal. Pattern. Expanded. Okay, let's add the spacer here, and for the spacer, let me add a comma here, and then inside this I'm gonna add a row, and for our row of our children, but we need to make sure first I have the main axis alignment, and then main. in axis alignment, yes. Then this will be dot center, and then let's say for the chart, we need to do a list generation. So here we'll be adding for our children. Let me see. For the children here, instead to use this square bracket, let's use a generator here instead. For I'm gonna use generator here instead. So here I will do list view generator here. Lists dot generator. Good. Let's use this rather. And for this first, we're gonna have the length will be, let's add the splash data. So splash data dot length. Okay, good. And for this, let's use the build dot build dot. This one will be index build the index, and then we have our index length build dot index build dot index dot. Let me see. Trying to just fix the logic here. So we have the pattern first, pattern that is pattern edge insect dot symmetric. Okay. So let me see the ending of this. This is ending where? No. Edge insert that symmetric. Come on. I think this is correct. Let me see. Standard. Let me try to figure this out. Mm, Pattern edge insert asymmetric horizontal. Get screen width. Child column. Oh, hot blasts. Child. Yeah, I need to add a child to this. But the child. Mm, child. Okay. Then here I'll go with a pattern, and the pattern will have what two. Okay, one here. So let me see the pattern. Then we'll have. Where's the row? Okay, row is here. Okay, so I add one here, and inside here we'll have another pattern here. Mm, okay, and then let me see. Pattern here, this column spacer. We have a spacer here, so column. So here, let me put it in children. Yes, children column with children. Okay, so children. Okay, so let me see spacer and a row. This one, and I'm gonna create it down there because we are looking at the build dot that is around the UI here. So this one, so I need to create that below. So let's continue with this, and so this is going to yell at us until I create that function. Okay, so what we will do next is to look at adding the adding a space in between here so that we'll create the other elevated bottom that we have here. So we are looking at creating this elevated bottom. So this build dots here will be created down there. Another function for this. And let me create this bottoms here and then this one. So let's add that one. So first beneath the this row, I'm gonna add a size box here. Okay, size box, and the size box, let me add a height of 1. Okay, and after the height, I'll also put this inside a size box as well. So let me copy this, be lazy, copy this. So we have two size box, but this size box is gonna have more details. So let me first open this wide, and this one I'll use width here, and width, let me set this to double dot infinity. Okay, and I'll use a height of let me use the get. I use the get proportion screen height, and I'll set this to 55. Okay, next is, let me add a child to this, and this child will be an elevated button. Okay, so now I have started this elevated button here. I use this, so we'll be having an on press and a child. Okay, so first let me add a background to this elevated button. So background for this background. Oh, this is yelling at us. Let me just wait. Let me check the design again. So button color for background, and then we add a text. Okay, here too, like that. Okay, good. So let me see. So elevated button, let me add style to this. Let me add style to this button. So I call the button style. Okay. So in the style, what we'll look at is first the background. The background color, we're gonna use material. Let's use material state property. So material state property. Good. And we use material state property dot all. So, and this will be color. So I use the k primary constant we have, that is this color. And next one will be the shape of the button. And so shape, I use material state property for this one too. States. Okay, and this one shape. So dot all, and the value will be round. I'll use round or rectangle border. Round rectangle border. Okay. So for the round rectangle border, let me see what we like to do in the round rectangle border. So let me add border radius to this. Border radius and border radius. Let's do border radius dot circular. Then we set it to 25. 0. Next, let's add a side, and this side we'll be looking at the border side. So border side, and I'll set the color of the border side color, and this I'll use the k primary color here, the constant. Okay. So after the side, let me see. Now we need to add our onPress property, and for the onPress, let's have this. We'll be using a navigator to actually navigate to one class inside our file, that is sign up. Yeah, we are yet to add more codes to that, but let's set it up at the beginning. Okay. So for this, we'll be using navigator. Let me use the navigator dot off. Okay, so dot of context, but this dot of context will use the push. So dot push here. Okay, so inside the push here we'll be having dot push. So inside our push we have an here material page, so we use material page, and for the material page we'll be having a builder in here. So first we use the builder, and the builder will be assigned to a builder context. So first let's have a context, and then we have the builder context. Context. Okay, so we have builder context here, and builder context. Then we'll assign this to a class which we are yet to set to be called sign up. Call this sign up. Yes, and let's look at builder dot contests. What is wrong here? So on press we have a function, then we go to navigator of contests dot push, and this push will end here. Okay, we'll end here, and then we have dot push. We have a material page route, and inside the material page route we have the builder. We have, oh, here should be build contests. Okay, I got you. So after that we need to add tests here, and that will be a child test widget. So we need to have material after the material page route. This one needs to be here. Sign up. Let me see. Sign up. Elevated size box. Okay, let's add the tests. Elevated. Let me see this. Size box is here. Bottom star. Oh no, bottom star should be here. Okay, yeah, it's ending here. Okay, so let me add this now. We continue. So we add now join now. Okay, good. So join now, then I'll add a star to this. So star. So this will be tester. Okay, tester. Tester in here. We first have to look at the font size. So font size, and then I set this font size to the get proportional screen width here. Width, and then let me set the width to 18. Now I add color, and the color here will be colors dot white. Okay. Okay, so I'm done with this one. Next is the other one. So I'll have to add another size box in between this. So size box, and here I only want height, so I use height 20. Okay, so we'll be building a next one. Let me see this one. Okay. But this, it will be basically like this one as well, but it's gonna have a different, just a slight changes in here, and then we'll add an image to it. So I'm gonna copy basically the same thing, or did I copy the same, and then I'm gonna paste that. Oh no, this one. So comma here, paste it in here. Okay, so let's look at the changes we'll be doing here for the next button. We'll leave the infinity, and then we leave the height. We have the elevated button, and then here let's set this to white. Okay, so colors dot white. Okay. Okay, so we set this to white, and then we look at the shape. The shape, we're gonna look at the rectangle border, and here we'll only change the color to black. So colors dot black here. Okay, good. We'll be having an on press, but this on press, we just don't want it to actually link to any other file. Like, we don't have to link it to any other thing. We're gonna leave it blank. Yeah, so let me just do this. Let me just do it this empty, and then what we have to do here is to add text to this. So first, let me change this text to join with Google. Join with Google. Okay. With color here, we set it to black instead of white, so black. Okay. But what I'll be doing is we need to add this icon here. Now everything in here is set, but left with this icon. So to set this icon, let me see, set this icon. I'll add all this inside a child. Then it will be in a row so that I can align that very well. So let me create, let me create a child here to be yelling at us, but I'm gonna solve that child here. And this child will have a row, and we're gonna put all this in children, children. Okay. So inside the children, I'm gonna add on top of the child. I wanna put some space here. So let me add here to be 60. Yes, and first child will be. Let me copy this. The test. I cut the tests. I paste it in here, and this goes off. Okay. So what is yelling at us? Okay, the size box. Size box, size of box, size box, size box. Should be inside the child. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to add, after, still we have not added this icon. I'm just rearranging it. And then here I'll be adding, after the size box, let me add the SVG. That's the Google SVG. So picture. And with the picture here, I need to add the link of the assets. So assets and slash, we have the asset to be icon, and icon slash dot google dot svg. Okay, and this, I need to set the width. Okay, the width of the SVG, and I need to set the height to 20 as well. Okay, and I have a comma here. So let me see. This picture should be dot assets, and we don't need this one. Okay, perfect. So we are done with this side. All this, we finish with this, we finish with this, but this we have a function or a class to build below. Okay, so next is the signing. Let me do the signing, then I come to the class for this one. So signing, after the elevated button or the size box, let me move out of the size box, because I'll add another size box here to give us a small space there before the signing shows. So I copy the size box, and then after the size box I paste in here, but I want the space in between to be 25. So yes, and what I'll do is to add a gesture detector to, yeah, this test should be a gesture detector so that it can actually link to some page. Okay, so I use gesture detector, and in here we'll have an on tab. In the on tab, we'll be using the navigator builder. So we have we're calling one page using this navigator the builder here. So I copy this and then I paste it in here. So why is it yelling at us? We need to put this in front. Okay, so I have this, and this one will be to assign in. And what we'll do here is to add some styling to this. But before that, we need to add the test, a test widget, and this test will have sign in. Okay, so after the sign in, let me add the test. No, no. Let's add a child to this. Today my keyboard is messing me up. Let's add a child to this. Okay. Child. Okay. Okay. And push. This push material. Need to add additional one here. This. Okay. So the child sign in, and let me add a star here. Star, and then I have the star. And with the tester, we're gonna have color. No, color. Pardon me for my keyboard. Color and color. We have K primary color. Then we have font. We do font size here. Font size 20. Okay. Next is the font weight. So font weight. Font weight, and for the font weight, let's set that to font weight dot bold, and good. What we'll do is to, after the dot bold, we're gonna add, let me see, let's add the spacer here. So spacer. Okay. Okay. Good. So now we are completely done with this. Next, after adding the spacer, we need to step below the save area. Then we need to add this function that is yelling at us here, so that the dot will work well using the index. So let me paste this one here, but I'm gonna call it will take the same parameter of int, and int what index, and then here it's gonna be animation. So I'm gonna use animated container. Yes, animated container, this one. And for the animated container, let me see. This should be in a square bracket. Here we have a square bracket. All right, so in animated container, we're going to return an animated container because we want some animation to happen when we scroll in between the images. So animated container, and we set the duration. So the duration here would be duration. We use milliseconds 100. Okay. And the next one we need to use margin, and our margin will go edge insert. Edge insert. This, let's do edge insert dot only. Then we check the right side. Yeah, to 5. And the height. We set the height to 10. And let's look at width using the proportional width. So we say the current page. Let's say current page is equal to current page is equal to index and index. Let's add some logic. If the current page is equal to the index, then colors show colors dot gray and let's use gray 800 so that it will be a bit light. 800. Then we say if not active, then colors dot white. Okay. So we have our logic in here. So, but this, let me see. After the milliseconds, now I have the edge inserts. I have the height. Now we look at this should be for color. So I'm gonna set this to color. Okay, but we're gonna have another one for width. This one will be color. So for our width, we'll be looking at the same current page. If the current page is equal to index, then we'll set, oh no, we'll set this to 10 by 10. Okay. No, 10 by 10 rather. Okay. But for the color, we need to put this in a box decoration. Yeah. So let me add a decoration here. Decoration. Then I have a box decoration. Box decoration. So inside the box decoration, I'll put the color in there. Okay, so after this, we're gonna have the border area. Animated, animated. Current page. Okay, for the color, after this, let me see. For a color, after the color, let's add a border here. Border, and this border, it's gonna be border for all. So um, border, then here I'm gonna add border dot all, this one. And let me see, this border will use the border radius, border radius. Yes. Okay. Set this to border radius. We use circular, and then we set this to 10. Let me check. There's some errors here. So animation container build a dot index. Then we go animation container duration millisecond, margin edge insect that only height width current page. Um, Current page, it's already set. Mm, Decoration box decoration current page. Mm, Order. I think a current page, it's yelling at us. What we're gonna do is to current page. You already set. Yes, current page. Current page, that's 0 already. So current page. Okay. Okay. Now let's tackle here. So here border. We'll be looking at border. Mm, Border dot radius here, and this for this one. For the border dot all, we'll also be having this same color, but this will be set to black. This one will be dot black. Border. Good. Okay, so all errors are solved. Good. Finish with the splash body. Let's begin with the sign up. So sign up, we'll start with the sign up one first. And the sign up one, we have already imported the files we will need, which is already, we already have all this. The screen size. We have the sign up to, which is here. We have the constant, and we have our SVG material that. So here we simply have a class and then a standing stateless widget, and we have a save area. Inside the save area, we have a scaffold, and inside the scaffold, the body is a single child scroll view. And now inside the column, this is what we're going to do. So with the sign in, this is how it looks like. But the first sign in is actually uh, uh, this one. So the first sign in is this one. So we're gonna add the logo. We add your name, then first name, last name, then the button. So let's get started. So in here we have a column, and the column we have cross axis alignment. So I'm gonna add a children here. This is where the button and everything will be happening. So first let's toggle the logo at the top. So to add the logo, before I want to add some space at the top here, so I'll use the size box. Okay, size box. And for the size box, I'm gonna set only the height. Okay. Next is to mm, look at the logo. So let me do that in a pattern widget. Logo pattern. Okay. So with our pattern, we're gonna have edge insect here. Edge insect, but we'll do this edge insect. We use the symmetric. Which way is it? Oh, this one. But let me add constant to this. And then for the symmetric horizontal, so we use the horizontal and it's 10. Okay, good. Now, mm, let me see. Now let's add a chart, and this will actually have uh, the SVG we want to use. So SVG picture.asset, and we'll set the asset link. Okay, so here let me set assets and slash logo.svg is inside the asset folder svg. Okay, so next I add a standardized height and width to it. So let me move this down here so that we see width. So for the width, we actually gonna set this to 30, the same as the height, so that uh, the shape will be cool. So we have the logo set, and so I save this. So the logo for this side is set, size box up there, and then the logo here. Next is this one, the add. So next, let's add a test widget. So after here, I want to add a space in between the logo. So what's the ending of the logo? This one. Okay. So I add some space in here, but we want the space to be a bit wider. So let's use 50. 50. Oh, 5,000, that's too much. So after the space, we're gonna use padding again here. Padding, and do edge insets. What do we use? Constant. So constant edge insect. This, let's also use symmetric here. Symmetric, then horizontal, we set it to 30. Okay. Now, what we have to do is to add a child to this. Add a child, and the child will have column. Let's use column for this. Okay, since we want to use test widget in there, so first I'll have the children, and inside the column, let's decorate it. We use cross like this, cross. Let's use the dot start. Okay, good. Then inside the children, first we will test. So children will use the test widget. Okay, so for the test widget, you will add this one, add your name. This one, add your name, add your name. Okay, so test widgets. Let's have add your name. Okay, and after the add your name, let's add some style to this. Style, and style with test style, and for test style, we'll consider adding a color, and I'll add colors. Oh, colors dot. First, we say colors dot black. Black. Okay. Then next, we have colors dot black. The styling. What else? Let's add font. Font size. Oh, my keyboard is messing me up today. Font size. Okay. So font size. Let's add 30 to this. And so we have the styling. Yeah, we have the test set. Now we need to have another space in between our test widget. So after our test widget, sorry. Okay, and for this, we'll be setting it to 50. Let me see. Here and here. 50 is okay. Okay, so 50, and then we're gonna add a form. Okay, so let's see, we use test form. Test form and test form field. Then add decoration, and decoration will be input decoration. Okay, so inside the input decoration, what we have to do is to first add the hint test. So hint test. Okay, and this hint test will be first name, and yeah, first name. That's all we have for this. And next, we're going to have a space in here. Now we add last name. The space 50 is too much for that, so I add 20. Then the next one is last name. Okay, so last name. Let me copy and paste this. Be lazy. Last name. Okay. Last name. Okay. After last name, let me see what's there. A space and a button. Very simple. So size box, and this space 50 is too much. 30. Then we're gonna work with another size box here. That is where we put our button in there. We use the size box for that. So let's add a width of double infinity. Dot infinity. Okay. Next, we want to add a height, and this height we use the get property height, and we set that to 50. Okay, then next is we have a child, and we use the elevated button. Okay, so we have an on press and another child as a required for elevated button. Okay, so let's see the elevated button. We're gonna add, let's add a style in here before elevated button style. So simply start with style, and style, I'll use a bottom style, and this bottom style will have a background, and this background we use the material property, material state property. Yes, this. And for the material state property, let me do .all, and the value for .all will be the K primary color, and next I'll add the shape, not shape color but only shape, and for the shape, I'll also use the material state. So material state property the same, and here will also be dot all, and for the value, shape dot all. Let's use rounded rectangle. So rounded rectangle. Should we use the border? Rounded rectangle border. Let's use this one. Okay. So for the rounded rectangle border, let's make sure it's inside this instead of the round bracket. Okay, and then we will have this. Okay, so for the rounded rectangle, I'll have another rounded rectangle in here, the rectangle border in here, and inside we have the border radius, and the border radius, we're gonna set that to circular. So border radius dot circular, and the radius should be 25.0. Okay. Next, after the rounded, let's see what we want to add to it. We want to add color to the side. So let's say side, and we have the border side. Okay, and the border side is set the color of the border side, and we use the K primary. Okay, perfect. So now we have the styling set. Next is the on press. Let's tackle the on press for our button. Okay, so on press, use the fat arrow. Okay, so now we're gonna use navigation. Okay, so navigation, let me borrow that from here. So we are on one, so navigation. Okay, so for this navigation, we wanted to link to the sign up to. Okay, and then for the chart, we're gonna use a test widget here. Test widget, and with the test widget, we'll have our first test, that is the continue on the button. So continue, and let's add some styling to this. So we add test and for the test style, first we need to have font size, and we use the get. And then we set the value to 18. Okay, so after that, let's add color to this. So color, and colors dot colors.white. Good. So basically we are done with the first what? The first sign up. So we are done with this. The next sign up is to look at the other one. Let me see. Let's look at one of these. And this, let's tackle this one. Yeah, let's tackle this one. Let's sign into. So sign into everything here is gonna be a bit similar. So let me see the sign into. Okay, so everything is gonna be similar. So from the column, I copy everything from the column. I copy the column itself. Okay, from alignment to column. Okay, perfect. Let me see. I copied this column. Let's do the column. Yeah. Okay. So this is repeating itself here. Let me step back once more. Oh, okay. So let me see for this one column. Then we have single chart scroll view. Do we have single charts? Two here. Okay. So we are using only the size box for this. We have the scaffold and then the save area. Okay, but this we are using save area, scaffold, and a single chart scroll view. Okay, so I'm gonna copy from the child to the column here. Okay, child to the column here. So we're gonna do just a simple changes here. Oh, we have a column in here, so I take this one off, and then will be in the size box, so that is okay. And then I paste it in here. All right, good. So let me see the changes, the difference between this. This has only email and add your email, but this is add your name. So we take the last name from it and then we do only email. Okay, so email and then add your email, and then let me take one of this out of this one, so I don't even need this. So okay, then I add email instead of first name. Email. Okay, so we are done for this page. So email, yes, continue, but this needs to go to sign up 3 instead of 2. Okay, perfect. So now let's step into the next one. Next one is the page 3. The page 3. Let's look at page 3. Okay. So page 3 will be having set your password and then email address. Then we'll be adding this to it. So okay, let me copy this. Page 3, let me see. So we have column, then I paste. Okay. Now we say we have set your password. So at the top, after the logo, set your, your password. Okay, and email and password. Email. So we do email. Email and password. Email and password. Then we do agree and continue. Agree and join. So we have agreed and joined for this one, but the three have special. We watch here, we're gonna have this side added to it, which is not in the rest of the ones here, except that they are